So this video is going to be about the Ramparts level of the Dead Cells games. It's right up there with the Toxic Sewers as one of my favorite levels. I like the castle towers and walls feel it has, as well as the threat of dropping off to your demise like I foolishly did. Fortunately, the game designers of Dead Cells are not without mercy, and falling through the gaps in the level won't force you to start over, provided you have enough health, because it will take a chunk of your hit points for being so clumsy. The regular zombies, grenadiers, archers, and shield zombies all can be found throughout this level. They're joined by a new flying enemy that looks sort of like a reddish bird. They are by far the worst aerial enemy you'll come across before the first boss. They often attack in swarms, they can fly through the level to follow you anywhere, and they don't die in one hit like the other flying enemies before them. Not only that, but they're fairly fast at both attacking and moving around to catch you. The red birds aren't the worst new enemy introduced with the Ramparts level. That honor goes to those zealot priests that can shoot those beams at you through walls and any part of the level. They have a pretty large range in which they can sense and attack you, and just 2 or 3 of them is enough to keep you on the move so much it's hard to kill enemies. If it weren't for the skills you can use to defend yourself, certain sections of the Ramparts would be impossible for me to deal with. As far as traps go, this level doesn't really seem to have any. Instead of traps, it does a good job of spacing gaps in the level that you can fall through, and towers about the width of the screen, or 1 room wide. The towers force you to attack and defend vertically, which is much harder to do since most of your attacks are horizontal in direction. You can attack above and below you a little bit if you're close enough to the enemies you're trying to attack, but your only real options are the ground slam, or running away if things get risky. The Ramparts lead to the Black Bridge, and the first boss fight. Beyond the Black Bridge is the Fog Fjord and the Clock Tower, which I'll get into in future videos. I just wanted to give a sense of what lies beyond. It took me a long time to beat the first boss, and since I almost got discouraged because I didn't know how much lay beyond the incomplete one, I figured I'd reveal it now in case anyone else is getting discouraged too. The incomplete one isn't that intimidating a boss after fighting it a few times. It's just tricky because it's so fast and hits so hard. If you're trying to collect cells to unlock something to help you with the incomplete one boss fight on the Black Bridge, the Ramparts is an excellent place to do that. I've collected as many as 40 cells in one run through the level. The increased number of enemies and difficulty of said enemies means more opportunities to collect cells. It's also a massive area to explore. Most of the towers can be explored both upwards and downwards a decent amount, making up for gaps between them where there's nothing but empty space to fall through. Without the generous spacing of the teleporters throughout the level, it would require an incredible and annoying amount of backtracking to fully explore the level to find all the enemies and secrets. Even with how they're spaced, if you don't discover the ones along the middle and surface of the level, you'll have to do a fair amount of backtracking. It's recommended to try and work your way to the end of the level along the surface of the walls and unlock all the teleporters along the way, then go back through the towers in the level, systematically clearing them off enemies and items. I'm pretty sure the Black Bridge is the only exit to this level, so once you find it, you'll know where to go after everything's been killed and looted. Most other levels have multiple exits where you can choose which level you can go to next, but this one leads only to the first boss fight. If you're like me, and struggled a lot with that boss before beating it, you'll quickly become familiar with this area of the castle. Even with those zealot priests and swarms of red birds, the Ramparts is not that difficult a level. It's designed in such a way that you can safely avoid most of the dangers in the level if you just run along the walls and avoid exploring the towers. Unlike most of the other levels, this one is not affected too much by the random generation aspect of this game's design. While the exits to both the sewers can be in different areas at the end of greatly varied paths, the exit to the Ramparts will generally be in the same location each time. Please, do not forget there's a boss fight after this level. I know I've mentioned it several times already, so it would be hard to forget, but I just want to make sure anyone who already has this game and is struggling with it takes their time to clear this level and find the best weapons and skills they can to help them defeat the boss afterwards. I know from experience that even though I enjoy this game a lot, it gets frustrating to repeat the same few levels over and over again to try and get past the first boss. I don't want to discourage anyone who might be interested in the game, nor do I want to discourage anyone who might already have it. The boss after this level is brutal, yes, but good weapons, skills, and reflexes will make them relatively easy. I'd like to also take a second and remind you that the more blueprints you unlock, the more variety and options you will have for tackling enemies and the first boss. It's not a bad idea to take some time and unlock as much as you can. The second boss is far deadlier than the first. And with that, I think I'm going to end this video. There's not much else to say about the Ramparts, and I'm nearing the end of my run through this level. I want to move on and show the incomplete one boss fight on the Black Bridge, as well as the Fog Fjord beyond that. The Fog Fjord is where the game really starts to get serious. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you're interested in the game, consider getting it on Steam or whichever console you might own. I believe it might even be coming to the Switch soon. If you have any questions or comments about the Ramparts or any other levels or things about Dead Cells, please feel free to leave them in the section below. And stay safe till next time. Error. Error. Error.